I want to tell you about two ways to play a game. The first way, play for the quick win, the fast result, the shortcut to the finish line. Intensity now, results now, everything immediately or not at all. The second way, play the long game, small moves, consistent effort, no rush. Build steadily day after day with the understanding that what you are building will take time and that the time is worth taking. Most people play the short game with English. They want fluency in 30 days, conversational English in 2 months, dramatic improvement quickly, or they lose interest and stop. And when the fluency does not arrive in 30 days, they feel like they failed, like the method was wrong, like they do not have what it takes. But fluency in a new language is not a short game. It is one of the longest games there is, not years of suffering, but years of small daily actions adding up, quietly, invisibly, gradually into something genuinely significant. The people who speak English confidently today have been playing this game for years, not because every year was dramatic or intense, because they kept playing, day after day, year after year, small moves, long game. Today's story is about a young man named Idris. Idris wanted the short game. He kept quitting when it did not deliver, until he understood the long game and started playing it. This is his story. Meet Idris. Idris was 25 years old. He worked at a graphic design studio. He created visuals for local businesses, logos, marketing materials, social media content. He was creative and good at his work. Clients liked what he produced. He had tried to improve his English 4 times. Not 4 courses, 4 genuine attempts, each with real commitment at the start, real energy, real hope that this time would be different. The first attempt, 18 months ago, an intensive online course. He studied hard for 6 weeks. His progress felt real. Then the intensity faded and the sessions stopped. The second attempt, a year ago, a language exchange with a native speaker, 4 sessions, then schedules conflicted and it quietly ended. The third attempt, 8 months ago, a vocabulary app. He built a streak of 22 days. A busy work week broke the streak. He never reopened the app. The fourth attempt, 3 months ago, a structured course. He completed 4 modules. Then a project deadline consumed 2 weeks and he lost the thread. 4 attempts, 4 endings. Each one had started with energy. Each one had collapsed when the energy naturally faded. He was not lazy. He was playing the short game. Starting fast, expecting fast results, stopping when the fast results did not come or when life interrupted. He told this to his friend Dax, an older friend who had been learning languages for many years. What Dax said. Dax was 34 years old. He spoke 4 languages, not because he was exceptional, because he had been playing the long game since he was 19. He listened to Idris describe the 4 attempts. He did not look surprised. All 4 of them ended for the same reason, Dax said. Different reasons, said Idris. Fading energy, broken streak, deadline, schedule conflict. Same reason, said Dax. You were playing a short game that requires a long game, he explained. Every one of Idris's attempts had been built on intensity, high energy, high effort, high expectation of quick results. And intensity is not wrong. It helps at the start, but intensity cannot be sustained indefinitely. Life interrupts, energy fades, busy weeks happen, and when intensity-based studying meets a busy week, it stops. The long game is different, said Dax. It is not built on intensity. It is built on small, consistent actions that are designed to survive busy weeks. Not 30 minutes when you are motivated. 10 minutes every day, no matter what. Not a streak you have to protect. A habit that just runs. He looked at Idris. You have been starting big and stopping when life happens. The long game means starting small and never stopping, because small is easy enough to maintain through anything life brings. He paused. You are not someone who cannot learn English. You are someone who has been playing the wrong game. Lesson 1. Start smaller than you think. That evening, Idris sat with a new notebook. He thought about 4 attempts built on intensity. He thought about what Dax had said. small and sustainable, designed to survive busy weeks. He made a plan, a deliberately small plan. 10 minutes every morning, not 25, not an hour, 10. He almost felt embarrassed writing it. 10 minutes felt too small, insufficient, like it could not possibly produce real progress. But Dax's question echoed, how long did each previous attempt last? 6 weeks. 4 sessions, 22 days, 4 modules, none of them long enough to build anything lasting, because they had all been too big to survive real life. 10 minutes would survive real life. 10 minutes could happen on the busiest day. 10 minutes asked so little that there was almost no valid reason to skip. He wrote in his notebook, 10 minutes, every single morning, no exceptions. This is the long game. The next morning, 10 minutes, vocabulary review and 1 short listening clip. The morning after, 10 minutes. A week passed. 7 mornings, 7 10-minute sessions, no drama, no streak to protect. Just 7 quiet mornings of 10 minutes. He did not feel transformed. He did not feel impressive. He felt consistent, and consistent, for the first time in 4 attempts, felt like something real. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 10 minutes every morning. The long game starts small. Small enough to survive anything life brings. That is the whole design. I feel consistent for the first time. That feels real. No streak to protect, just a habit that runs. I am not playing for the quick win. I am playing the long game. 7 mornings. No drama. Just quiet, consistent progress. Starting small is not weakness. It is wisdom. Lesson 2. The busy week that did not break it. 3 weeks into his 10-minute routine, Idris had the busiest week of his professional year. A major client project, revisions, feedback rounds, late nights, 2 days where he worked until midnight. This was exactly the kind of week that had broken every previous attempt. On Wednesday morning, after a midnight finish, he woke up at 6:30. His body wanted more sleep. The project was waiting. The day was already full. He sat up. He picked up his phone. He did 10 minutes of English, not inspired, not focused, half awake. His mind was partly still on the project, but 10 minutes, done. He wrote in his notebook, Wednesday, midnight finish, 10 minutes. The habit survived the hard week. On Thursday, same, tired, 10 minutes. On Friday, the project was delivered. He was exhausted, 10 minutes. The week ended, he looked at his notebook, 7 days, 7 marks, the busiest week of his year. The habit had not broken. He thought about the 22-day streak on the vocabulary app. A busy week had broken that. A busy week that had asked him to maintain a long session with a preserved streak and a performance to uphold. This busy week had asked him for 10 minutes. 10 minutes had survived. He wrote in his notebook, the long game is not about performing. It is about surviving. 10 minutes survive everything. Daily English sentences. Sentences. Repeat after me. 10 minutes survived the hardest week of my year. The long game is not about performing. It is about surviving. Half awake in 10 minutes. That is still the long game. The habit did not break. That is the whole victory. Busy weeks break intensity. They do not break small habits. I wrote, the habit survived. Those 3 words are everything. The long game keeps going when the short game would have stopped. Lesson 3. 6 months. What small daily builds. 6 months into his 10-minute routine, Idris looked at the record in his notebook. 174 sessions. Not 174 perfect sessions. Some had been 7 minutes, a few had been 13. A handful had been genuinely focused and productive, and a few had been half awake and barely present. But 174 mornings with something. He thought about the 4 previous attempts. 6 weeks. Approximately 30 sessions. 4 sessions. 4 sessions. 22 days, 22 sessions. 4 modules, roughly 12 sessions. Total across 4 attempts, approximately 68 sessions. 174 sessions in 1 attempt, more than double all 4 previous attempts combined. And his English, he could feel it, not dramatically different in any single week, but across 6 months, genuinely, significantly further along. His reading was faster and more confident. His listening had improved to the point where he could follow English podcasts in his industry without difficulty. He had started writing short paragraphs in English as a design exercise, captions, descriptions, and they came naturally now. He thought about DAX, about the long game, 10 minutes a day, 6 months. He had never gotten this far before, because he had never played this game before. He wrote in his notebook, 174 sessions, more than all 4 previous attempts combined. The long game works, I just needed to start playing it. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 174 sessions, more than all previous attempts combined. The long game works. I just needed to start playing it. Not one perfect session required, just consistent presence. 6 months of small daily actions built something I can feel. I never got this far before, because I never played this game. The reading is faster, the listening is better, the writing flows, small and sustained beats, big and stop. Lesson 4, 1 year, still playing. 1 year after his conversation with Dax, Idris sat at his design studio after hours. He was working on a project for a new international client. The brief had arrived in English. He had read it fully. He had drafted 3 questions for clarification. In English, clearly, professionally. He was going to send them tomorrow. 1 year ago, he would have needed help with that email. He would have asked a colleague or used a translation tool and then cleaned up the result. Tonight, he had written it himself, comfortably, in about 8 minutes. He thought about the long game, 361 sessions, not 365. He had missed 4 mornings across the year, illness, travel, one genuinely impossible week, but 361 out of 365. He had played the long game, and the long game had delivered, not in a single dramatic moment, but in the accumulation of 361 mornings of 10 minutes. In the email he had just written, in the podcast he had listened to on the commute that had made him laugh, in the English design articles he now read for pleasure. He thought about the 4 short games he had played before, and he thought about this one long game. He knew which one he was playing for the rest of his life. He wrote in his notebook, Year 1 of the long game, 361 sessions. Email written tonight. I am still playing. I will always be playing. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 361 sessions in 1 year. The long game delivers. I wrote the email tonight comfortably in 8 minutes. The accumulation of small daily actions produced this. I missed 4 days in a year. That is nothing. The game continued. I know which game I am playing for the rest of my life. The long game. Always. Because it works. Because it lasts. I will always be playing. That is the commitment I made. Final words. Play the long game. Idris's story is simple. He tried 4 times with intensity. He stopped 4 times when the intensity met real life. One conversation changed the game he was playing. 10 minutes. Every day. Designed to survive anything. 1 year. 361 sessions. An English email written comfortably at a design studio after hours. The long game delivers. Not quickly, not dramatically, not in the way that feels impressive or intense, but it delivers. Slowly, quietly, really. Maybe you have stopped before. Maybe you have started and stopped and started and stopped more times than you want to count. I want to tell you, that is not failure. That is the short game running out. Start the long game instead. Choose a target so small it cannot be broken by a busy week. 10 minutes, maybe 15. Small enough that you can look at your busiest day and still fit it in. Then play it every day. Not for 30 days, not for the duration of a course, for as long as English matters to you, which, if you are honest, is probably the rest of your life. Because fluency is not a destination you reach and then stop at. It is a game you keep playing. And the people who speak English the way you want to speak it, they've been playing it for years. You can play it too. Just start small. Start today and keep playing. See you in the next one. Stay calm, stay consistent, and play the long game.